Good evening. Tonight, we are waking up slowly inside a peaceful snowy cabin deep in the mountains, while soft snow continues falling outside. The fire is still warm, the air feels cozy, and the world outside is quiet and white. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, relax your thoughts, and enjoy this calm English story beside the fireplace. Early morning light slowly entered the cabin through the windows. Outside, snow covered the mountains completely. Tall pine trees stood quietly beneath the white winter sky. Soft snowflakes continued falling slowly through the cold air. Inside the cabin, everything felt warm and peaceful. A fire still glowed softly inside the fireplace. Orange flames moved quietly across the wood. The smell of warm coffee filled the room gently. A young woman sat beside the window, wrapped in a thick blanket. In her hands, she held a warm ceramic cup. Steam rose slowly into the air. The warmth felt comforting against the cold winter morning outside. The woman looked quietly toward the mountains. Everything outside looked soft, silent, peaceful. The world seemed slower here, far away from busy cities, far away from stress, far away from noise. Only snow, silence, and warmth existed here. The woman slowly took a sip of coffee. It tasted rich and warm. The fireplace crackled softly behind her. The sound blended perfectly with the quiet winter atmosphere. Everything inside the cabin felt calm, safe, comfortable, the kind of place where people can finally rest deeply. The woman closed her eyes for a moment. Sometimes winter mornings can feel magical, especially in places like this. Warm blankets, fresh coffee, snow outside the windows, and enough silence to hear your own breathing. The cabin smelled like pine wood and warm fire smoke. A small lamp glowed softly near the kitchen. Several books rested quietly on a wooden table nearby. A knitted scarf hung beside the door. The atmosphere felt cozy, very cozy. The woman slowly stood up and walked toward the kitchen. The wooden floor creaked gently beneath her feet. She opened a small cabinet and removed a loaf of fresh bread. Soon, the smell of warm toast filled the cabin softly. The woman prepared breakfast slowly. There was no reason to hurry today. No schedules, no pressure, no stress. Only peaceful winter silence. Outside, snow continued falling softly across the mountains. The trees looked frozen beneath the pale morning light. Everything outside seemed calm and untouched. The woman carried her breakfast toward the fireplace and sat quietly beside the fire again. The warmth surrounded her immediately. She wrapped the blanket closer around her shoulders. The fire moved softly beside her. Orange light reflected gently across the wooden walls. The woman looked outside once more. Tiny snowflakes continued dancing through the air. The mountains disappeared softly behind white fog and falling snow. The view looked beautiful, dreamlike. The woman smiled softly. Modern life often feels loud and overwhelming. People rush constantly. Phones ring endlessly. Notifications never stop. But mornings like this remind people that peace still exists. Simple peace. Quiet peace. The woman slowly opened a book resting beside the fireplace. The pages felt warm beneath the soft firelight. Outside, the wind moved gently through the pine trees. The woman turned each page slowly. The peaceful atmosphere made time feel softer somehow, slower. Hours passed quietly inside the cabin. The fire continued glowing warmly. Snow continued falling endlessly outside. The woman occasionally looked toward the mountains while sipping her coffee slowly. Everything felt calm, safe, protected from the cold winter world outside. At one moment, she noticed small animal tracks in the snow near the trees. Perhaps a rabbit had passed through during the night. The tiny footprints disappeared softly into the forest. The woman smiled quietly again. Even the smallest details felt beautiful here. The peaceful cabin, the snow, the warm fire, all of it felt comforting. The kind of place where people remember how important rest truly is. The woman slowly placed the book aside and listened carefully. The fireplace crackled softly. The wind whispered through the trees outside. Snow touched gently against the windows. Everything sounded peaceful together. The atmosphere felt deeply relaxing. The woman leaned back into the chair and closed her eyes again. The warmth of the fireplace relaxed her body completely. Her breathing became slower, calmer. Outside, winter continued quietly through the mountains. The snow covered everything in soft white silence. Inside the cabin, peace filled every corner of the room. No pressure, no stress, only warmth, silence, and the peaceful rhythm of winter. After some time, the woman slowly stood again and walked toward the window. She gently opened it a little. Cold mountain air entered the cabin softly. The fresh winter air smelled clean and peaceful. The woman closed her eyes and listened carefully. Far away, she could hear the soft sound of wind moving through the snowy trees. Everything outside felt calm, untouched, pure. The woman looked toward the mountains again. The snowy landscape stretched endlessly beneath the pale morning sky. Tiny snowflakes continued falling slowly from the clouds above. The entire world looked soft beneath the winter light. She slowly closed the window and returned beside the fireplace once more. The warmth felt comforting immediately. The woman placed another piece of wood carefully into the fire. The flames grew brighter for a moment. Orange light danced softly across the room again. The cabin felt alive with warmth, safe from the cold winter outside. The woman sat quietly and wrapped herself deeper inside the blanket. She watched the fire slowly move. The sound of burning wood felt relaxing, steady, comforting, almost hypnotic. The woman thought about how rare peaceful mornings can feel in modern life. Many people wake up stressed, busy, rushing immediately into work and responsibilities. But mornings like this remind people to slow down, to breathe, to enjoy silence, to appreciate warmth and stillness. The fire continued glowing softly. Outside, snow continued covering the mountains peacefully. The woman noticed the sky slowly becoming brighter behind the snowy clouds. Morning had fully arrived now, but the peaceful atmosphere remained unchanged. The mountains still looked quiet. The trees still stood calmly beneath the falling snow, and inside the warm cabin, everything still felt slow and peaceful. The woman picked up her warm cup once again. The tea had cooled slightly now, but it still felt comforting. She slowly drank the final sip while watching snowflakes fall outside the window. The peaceful moment felt timeless, like the world had paused for a little while. No pressure, no noise, only winter silence. The woman smiled softly one final time. She realized something important. Peace is not always found in big achievements. Sometimes peace is found in small, quiet mornings, inside warm cabins, while snow falls softly outside. The fireplace continued crackling gently beside her. The warm light filled the room peacefully. Outside, snowflakes continued dancing slowly through the mountains. Quietly, softly, endlessly. Now, take another slow, deep breath. Relax your body, relax your thoughts, and allow the peaceful sound of the fireplace and falling snow to guide you into deep relaxation, warm comfort, and restful sleep. Good night.